Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this program today, sponsored by the International Association for Peace and Economic Development, which is one of the primary associations of the Universal Peace Federation, which is an NGO in general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. So my name is Roger Wetherell, and I'll be the host today for this program, or the moderator. And today we're going to be delving into the world of artificial intelligence. So first up, I just wanted to say, if you haven't taken our little survey on artificial intelligence, I'm going to put the link to this into the chat right now. And you can go on there and you can click on that link and you can take our survey. We're going to be presenting some results from this survey, but this will be results up until the beginning of this program. If you haven't taken it, though, we're interested in getting your feedback on this. So AI normally means artificial intelligence, but our speaker prefers the term augmented intelligence. So I have to confess that I've been a little bit skeptical about the benefits of AI and this technology. And I think some people may think of it as a curiosity or a novelty that can help them with writing poetry or creating funny pictures or videos. And they don't see it as having a lot of practical use for our everyday lives or for business. But today, I'm open to be convinced that there are real practical uses for this technology. And I want to invite all of you to step into a future with us where your input is going to be the key to unlocking the true potential of artificial intelligence. So the title of our webinar is Harness AI's Potential. Your input is key to its intelligence. And you're going to discover how AI, without human input, is just merely a sophisticated calculator waiting for direction. And it needs us to kind of teach it what to do. We need to train it like a child or a coach or a new employee in our company. So our presenter today is Audra Hajj. Audra is a visionary entrepreneur and renowned AI expert with a passion for driving positive economic impact. As the CEO of Velocity Conversions and founder of the AI Augmentation Academy, she's transformed over 3,100 businesses and created 34,000 jobs. So definitely a powerhouse in this industry. She's known as the ambassador of change. So Audra's expertise in AI and business strategies has been celebrated globally. So I'd like to introduce Audra. She's going to take away this presentation and lead us through this, and then we will have some time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. So please put your questions in the chat as she's going through it, and we'll get to them at the end. Audra, over to you. Sorry, Audra, we can't hear you still.
Dun, 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 dun. It helps to hear me, right?
That's good.
Okay, awesome. And I should be sharing my screen. All is good?
Yep.
I love it when technology works, especially when you're talking about technology. Awesome. Thank you so much, Roger. It's always an incredible opportunity to be here at the association. So much change is being made through your organization, through this organization, through the team effort of everybody at the IAED. So first of all, thank you for breaking barriers and making the change that the world needs. So today, guys, keep your hands and arms in at all times. We are going to go through an AI introduction, but it's going to probably feel a little bit like a fire hose, but I'm going to do it in a way that's hopefully very, very relatable. So let's just dive right in, and let's talk about first what Roger was saying about the survey. So for those of you who took the survey, I had kind of compiled this into some charts, and based on your input, I actually adjusted my presentation based on what you guys told me that you felt about AI and what you wanted. So today is going to be a deep dive into this. So these are some of the questions that we put out. These are some of the results. And I'm going to click through these pretty quick. You know, we talk about how many are currently using AI tools in their work. Woo! this is probably the pie chart that's got the most amount of opinions in it. This next one's pretty exciting. Would you like to learn ways to discover practical ways to delegate and use AI for mundane tasks? Who doesn't want to be freed up to do the great stuff that humans were meant to do, right? 100%. I like 100%. 100% give me a clear idea what to present. Next is, how many of you think it's going to help transform your career or your company? This one right here was a little bit closer. I like this slide too. 50-50. It talks a little bit about, how is it going to work alongside human employees? Do we understand how it is? Which therefore goes back to the term Roger said, AI augmentation. And we're going to get into what AI is and what AI augmentation is, in my opinion. And then right here, the last one is, would you like to learn more about how to harness AI's potential? Everybody pretty much said yes. And we have one that's not quite sure, didn't really know whether they wanted to. So let's get right in. Let's do an introduction to AI, guys. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, welcome to the AI world. I feel like there's some science fiction, stars that should be happening. So what I want to do is I want to put this into a context that makes it extremely easy for all of us to relate to. And that is going to be raising a child. So just as we would raise our child, we have to raise our artificial intelligence, our little baby AI, okay? We have to teach it. We have to make it a powerful member of our actual business team. That doesn't come out of the box. So as we get into this, let's really dive down deep into what exactly is AI. First of all, I need to tell you right now, let's stop and let's clear your mind, because there is no intelligence in artificial intelligence. Quite honestly, right off the bat, this is where a lot of confusion is happening. AI is kind of like a big, silly calculator that's sitting there kind of with a funny blank expression on its face, needing a human command. It is not going to run out there and do all these things on our own without us being humans to tell it what to do. So right off the bat, no intelligence out of the box, artificial intelligence, at least not the way that's going to be anything applicable to us in our real lives and in our businesses. It needs our human input. Just as we teach our children, we teach them ethics, we teach them manners, traditions. We have to do the exact same thing with our AI. It is going to adapt. It's going to evolve to handle these complex data situations, but not until we first take the time. I'm going to repeat that. You have to take the time to really teach it who you are, who your company is, and the goals that you want. So as we go through this, I'm going to help you understand where is augmentation in this. The definition of AI augmentation is really to enhance human capabilities. It's not to replace, it's to enhance human capabilities. And that's really what we're going to learn how to do, and do it in a way that's responsible. And if we do this correctly, some of the key features are collaboration. Imagine that this is going to work alongside of us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So hopefully those of you who are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, don't have to do that. You're going to have something that can help create workflows, help with decision-making process. It is going to supplement skills. Let's talk about this for a second. How many of us as business owners, we have a certain skill set that we need brought into our company, but what happens if that skill set is maybe a temporary skill set? In the past, we would have to bring somebody on board. We would have to get them up to speed on our company, our culture, our ethics, the results that we wanted. They would perform that skill set. And sometimes we might feel obligated that we got to keep them on the payroll, which bloats our payroll, right? Well, imagine if we could tap in and we could have supplemental skills on demand immediately that we could deploy. to get us the goals that we were looking for. That's huge. That's powerful. That helps keep us agile. So daily applications. First of all, guys, if you don't think that you're affected by AI right now, if you guys have Netflix and Netflix is saying to you, hey, we think you would like, guys, that's AI. That's artificial intelligence who's learned your behaviors and is now suggesting things based on your behaviors. I'm a big music person. I wake up and on my Spotify, it does a DJ mix for me based on what I listened to for the last week. Kind of cool. It's like having my own personal little DJ rocking out my music. I love it. AI is in our lives. It's in our cars. It's in our televisions. It is everywhere that you can imagine. As a matter of fact, my son just bought a brand new electric vehicle, and I couldn't believe how advanced it was. AI is here. It's not going anywhere, but it's up to us right here, starting on this webinar, to understand it and control it. Now imagine real-time assistance, providing support for complex tasks, data analysis, all of those kind of things, pattern recognition, all these things that might not really sound fun to most humans, right? Most of us don't put in a job description. As a marketer, we didn't put in a job description to look at analytics all day long. We wanted to be creative, create campaigns, do magic. Imagine if we could do all that and reduce our errors at the same time. A constant editor, a constant person checking everything that we're doing, make sure our commas, our periods, everything's in the right place. Now, increased productivity, woohoo, freeing us up to do the things that only humans can do. Let's get back and let's really get focused on our companies and our roles maybe working in companies. The human asset, that means you, that means me. We are the most precious asset in a company. So what are we doing, spending hours and hours trying to crunch data, trying to put information together to validate maybe what we're doing as humans? Well, give it to the AI. Let it handle all those things for us. Now that increases our product. Now, based on our training of it, and it goes out, brings in data that helps augment the result that we're looking for, that's going to help us make decisions, enhance our decision-making skills. That's going to impact our work culture. Imagine a world where we can empower employees to do what they love, to bring in their skill set and free them of all the mundane tasks, all the tedious things. Innovation, fostering a more innovative work environment. Hey guys, listen to this. My mom is 87 years old. She, in the last couple years, has written 6 books at 87 years old. She's got one eye, one arm. She's in a wheelchair. She's got one ear. But you know what? She is learning fantasy AI prompting because now at her fingertips is going to be the ability as a writer to write what we're going to talk about, which is prompts, and watch her characters come to life. Now that is a world that's exciting. So first we have to lay the foundation. So AI is powered by human brilliance. That's your brilliance. As parents, we lay the foundation for our kids, right? The character. We talk them about ethics and our cultures. We go ahead and we teach them all the things that we believe inside our household. That is the foundation. Then as they basically get that foundation, we have the ability to send them out into the world as they grow up, just like our children. They get outside influence and they bring that influence back into their personalities. And now they become functioning adults. Now, it all starts with prompting. This is important. If you're taking notes, prompting is the secret sauce to AI. Teaching it through questions, guiding the child's learning by asking questions, and encouraging our baby AI to answer the questions. And when it answers the questions, say, hey, you know what? That's not really the answer we're looking for. Think about it this way. And now we're teaching it by prompting it to think about it a different way that aligns with our ethics, our company's culture, the result that we want. So, skill development, similar to how we teach our children to communicate efficiently, it has to respond to questions and it learns from our input on its responses and develops a skill set specific to our needs. It's a guided learning process. These questions shape their thought process. It helps them create some independence by going out, having a question, and trying to come back with an answer. This is very powerful learning, and that's why it's an accelerated pace. The next examples of, effective kind of prompting is, again, let this child, I don't know about you, I got two amazing children. They are much smarter than I ever was at their age. Why? Information's at their fingertips. What it took us going to the library, I still miss the smell of a library, but anyway, I'm going down memory lane. What it took us going to libraries, going and looking through these resources that were limited, they have at their fingertips. So let it be guided by us and go out and help solve complex problems. This is where it really is going to be magic, helping us with that creative expression, just like I mentioned about my mother. Going in and understanding that as we teach it and we take time, the enhancement of the responsiveness, how it's going to have the ability to understand and almost think the way we think because we took the time to teach it. Think about it as being married. How many times are you in a relationship or married and all of a sudden you start finishing each other's sentences? It's a relationship, 100% relationship that we are doing. And because of that relationship, now we can tailor the outcomes, right? Taking our time, carefully crafting the prompts changes everything. If you go into an untrained AI, so let's start putting some words that you might have heard out there. Chat GPT. A chat GPT, there are two different versions. There's one that you just go and it's free and you start playing with it. And a lot of people are like, okay, this is like nothing spectacular. Well, first of all, it's all going out in open source, going to the internet, pulling in data to give you whatever it is that you asked for. Now, remember, it's a two-way street. Whatever you're putting out there, asking it on a non-paid version, well, it's learning and it's teaching others. Make sure that you understand that a paid chat GPT is going to be a more controlled environment. And you want to make sure your environments are controlled so you're not sharing a bunch of proprietary information without a framework and policies in place. And we're going to get into that later. Everyday AI use. We talked about it in your home. Now let's talk about business communications. Crafting prompts that guide the AI to generate brand-aligned communications. What does that mean? That means tailored to your tonality, how you speak. I have a very specific way that I speak. I'm a total geek in disguise, but I don't necessarily speak geek a traditional way of geek, right? Imagine that I can train my AI to speak as I speak. Customer support. Woo! Okay. First of all, we used to talk a lot about some different terms, customer support. Now it's about customer experience. Because of technology, our consumers are expecting a very high-end tailored communication based on who they are, where they came in, what kind of information that they're following. Guys, it's extremely important to make sure our customer experience is something tailored specifically to each and every individual. Micro communications are possible through chatbots. Programming chatbots to be available to our clients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and answer questions. Chatbots can even have different emotions. Based on the response that they're putting in, it can come back and actually have a voice and a human AI standing there saying, oh, well, I'm sad to see you leave. That's where we're going, guys. This is the direction that we're heading. And if we embrace it, we can create one of two different kinds of AIs in the world. There's the cute little Wally, or there's the Terminator. So my goal is to empower people like you with the knowledge to understand how to create more Wallies, right? And it all comes from the early learning and growth. The early years are really where that young child is absorbing everything we teach them, right? I mean, I know that you guys have been in a situation. You tell your child over and over and over and over again something, they don't listen to you. They go and hear it from a stranger and they come back and they go, oh my gosh, guess what I just learned, right? And you're like, oh my goodness. But this is where the decision-making process happens. And this is the stage where we really spend time training and expanding the knowledge and educating and training our AIs. As children go to school, basically math, science, all that good stuff, our AI is learning from our inputs, marketing data, customer interactions, and then it can go out and do its own research to help augment and give us perspectives and data in real time that we couldn't have addressed before, we couldn't have had access to. Now, that was a lot. Now, let's talk about some of the fears. Maybe before, hopefully, learning all that, you had a lot of fears about AI taking over jobs, AI making people obsolete. Let me ask you, how many typewriter repairmen do you know that are still repairing typewriters? They changed their jobs. They changed the way that they were doing things. And that's where we are in our lives, is that we are going to have to start adapting to our little AI assistants who are going to work 24 hours a day so we can actually spend some quality time with our family. And if we do this correctly, it's here to free us. So will it replace jobs? You know what? There are certain jobs, just like the typewriter needed to be replaced. There are a lot of things in the past, the telephone booth. How many telephone booths do you see nowadays, right? These things had to be updated. And that's what we're going through right now, is a huge update. But let me explain to you what happened and why things are a little crazy right now. We got caught off guard. People, when they thought about AI in the business world and in different countries and economic planning, they really thought about it in the industrial space. Industrial, meaning large machinery and AIs that could help assembly lines and reduce risk of injury to humans. This all happened. But here's where things got crazy. It creeped into the human workforce, the knowledge workforce, and people weren't ready for it. It's here, and in the next 2 years, it is going to explode. So we have to understand how to use it, how to stay relevant. And staying relevant is by controlling it. What are we controlling? Actually, we're not controlling an AI. Inside of this big term AI is what we call language models. These are large language models, and these are like the textbooks for AI. It helps AI understand very specific things. And in order to understand those things, we teach it. It then learns, it adapts. But again, all this time we've been talking about training our AIs versus untrained language models. So it's very important to understand that, very much kind of think about it as, as our children go to college, right? They can go to college, they can get their general education, they can go out and they can learn the basics. But would you go to a general practitioner for a brain surgery? Probably not. I don't recommend it. Not at all. What you would want to do is you want an expert that's in a very specific field. So as we take these big language models, what we need to do is we need to train those to understand very specific outcomes. And that is by running thousands of use cases, hundreds of scenarios on something very specific. Let's say creating a powerful webinar funnel. And it needs to understand exactly what it is that we want to create. And by doing it again and again and again and again and again, it now becomes the expert in webinar funnels, the expert in creating an explainer video on a whiteboard, on a blackboard, on a glass board. That's where magic happens. That's where we're training our AIs. So basically, as we go in, this really makes a big difference in the outcome. And I want to show you a case study right here in my own company. I'm a writer by trade. I love to write. And I went in and I wrote a book because having an ad agency since 2006, marketers are my passion. And this whole AI world is shaking up the marketers industry. So I wrote a book and I wanted to make an ebook. I then took that ebook that I wrote, right? I wrote it first. Step one, original book was me. Step two is I went in and I said, okay, my AI, who's been trained on my tonality, who I am, how I express myself, I gave my book to my AI. Then my AI created a bunch of great additions, smoothed out all my writing. Now, guess what? I don't have to worry about my punctuation as much, about what I'm doing. I love the fact I can just be free to write. I'm inspired, I write, and then it cleans it all up for me. Not a bad gig. So I gave it to mine. And then what I did was I gave my exact same prompt, call it a prompt, which was my ebook. I then gave it to my senior AI content manager, Kieran. She took my original book, put it into her AI, and guess what? Boom, 2 totally different ebooks. Everything started with the prompt, but because of the way we trained our personal AIs, I actually now have 2 incredible books that started with me. Super powerful. And I can't think of a better way to illustrate how much influence we have on our AIs. So again, why training matters. It absolutely is the difference between something generic and something tailored. It is the difference between you hiring an employee, onboarding them, teaching them slowly who you are, your goals, your unique value proposition, or just bringing somebody in and saying, go to work. There's your computer. If you need anything, the coffee room's over there and I'm over here. Just ask me questions. Oh, that's not going to work. So the same thing applies here. So we're going to train them. So then we need to go ahead and understand, here's something super powerful. I don't know how many of you guys are business owners, but I'm about to blow your mind. We've always wanted a crystal ball, right? What does our consumer need? Well, first of all, any business we have solves a problem. We have to understand the pains. What are their pains? What are their desires? What are their challenges? We no longer, as marketers, should be creating marketing messages from our mind. What we need to do is now, through trained AIs, we can go out and we can get real-time data as to the words that our consumers are using, which become emotional motivators. As we say those words back to them, they immediately feel related to any content that we're making. We get their words, their pains, their desires, and the outcome they want. That is your marketing message. And it's real time. And I've got trained AIs in my AI Augmentators portal that specializes in doing exactly that one task. What's that called? A trained AI. Now, a lot of you guys might not know this. Does anybody know what bubble wrap was originally invented for? You know what? A lot of us are sitting on products and services that we think serves a certain kind of challenge. Well, when you release them to the market and then you can get that data in real time, bubble wrap was a wallpaper. It was originally released as a wallpaper, but when in the hands of the consumers, it completely changed. And it became what we use for, bubble wrap every day. Personally, I like to stomp on it, make noises. But anyway, as you can see, understanding and having this data in real time, it wasn't acceptable. It's something that we could access in the past. Now it is. So we need to change our marketing to be more relevant. Now I'm about to do something really fun. Let's do another case study. It's great to hear me, blah, 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 blah. but let's actually see it in the works. This was an incredible project here, actually near and dear to a lot of us on this webinar. It is something that is being created as a concept for a brand new economic term and a different way to look at things and to elevate humanity, society, everybody. And I'd like to show you this case study. I'm going to play you this video and have you see in real time a process that we did. All right, let's go over another case study, one that's near and dear to everyone's heart here on the presentation. This is an incredible project, a collaboration of some of the greatest minds here at the International Association of Economic Development. And this is a document that is collecting thought leaders' opinions, their passions, their knowledge, their expertise, all into one document to create a brand new economic term and a perspective to make the world an incredibly better place. So as you can see from looking at this document, there is a tremendous amount of thoughts, there is all kinds of images and information and comments, and it's just incredible. It's a collection of brilliance, but it might also be a little bit chaotic. So what do we do with something like this? This is a great example of how you can go in and train your AI like we've been talking about. So what I did was I needed to go in and I needed to go into my trained AI. And my trained AI is used to writing a lot of documents like this. So what I wanted to do is I had to teach it first, who is the International Association of Economic Development? I needed to teach it about who we are, who the mission, what the mission is, what the core values are. I needed to also talk about the fact that we're creating this booklet for this new economic term, and I needed it to know who we're speaking to make sure the tonality that we're using. So as I go through this, there's a tremendous amount of back and forth. I am actually talking back and forth to my AI, just like everything we've talked about here on this presentation. Hey, I need you to understand that they also gather delegates, and they have these incredible pillars that they formed that really explain who they are. So I want you to learn it. So as you see right here, my AI is saying, certainly, let me do that for you. So we're literally having a conversation back and forth. So I'm teaching it, I'm going in, I'm telling it more and more. By the way, this is like a real passion point of mine, because I was actually in Korea when we signed this incredible this was just incredible. This just puts a happy step in everything that I'm doing. And it's very, very important. It's important to understand the beliefs of who the association is and what it's trying to do and the good that it's trying to do in the world. So again, I'm feeding it. I'm telling it a little bit more. I'm telling it a little bit more. And this just goes on and on and on and on. I'm going in and I'm teaching it because if I left it to itself, it would go out, and inside of this foundation, there are many different chapters. So imagine this poor little AI baby jumping out to the internet and trying to pull in all the information from the entire foundation, when that's not what we want. We only want very specific to this particular chapter. So again, on and on and on and on and on. And I'm training and I'm talking and I'm training. Now I start feeding the different information, little points at a time. And then I just continue to go through this. So let's see what that turns out to. After all this training, and I could scroll and scroll forever, there's a lot of human input. If you see this, this wasn't just me throwing a bunch of notes in there and saying, good luck, I trust you. No way. So it goes on. And what I did was the next step was I created a framework of organization. So I took all that brilliance and I created it in something that was a little bit easier to work within. It has a flow. It starts with really talking about who we are. Then it starts talking about what is this new concept that we're trying to create with the headwing. And then it talks about the fundamental basics of our thought processes that were pulled all together in the last document.
And as you can see, oh, now we're flowing. Now we're looking good. So I was able to take about, I think it was 25 pages worth of all kinds of incredible information and really put it down to 8 pages that are very precise. But remember, what are we creating? We're creating a booklet, or in my world, I call it an ebook. So then I went in and said, okay, great, fantastic. Now I need you to make it an ebook. So by talking to my AI, I did not have to stop, think about the table of contents, think about what section should be called the introduction, the about. I let the AI do that, and it saved me hours and hours worth of time. So now it's in the format of what would be an ebook. So then what happens is a lot of times when we do something like that, we create a PDF. This is what the PDF looks like, where I went in, and of course my amazing designer, who, by the way, big shout out, whoop, Miriam, thank you for all that you do to make everyone look so good, goes in and formats it, makes it beautiful, puts it all together, and wow, there's those pillars we were talking about. And as you see, there's all kinds of images. So what does it look like at the end? Dun, 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 dun. This is what it looks like. So at the end, we create an incredible piece that is an introduction to this brand new way of thinking. It's a combination of everyone's thoughts, their expertise, all put in a very easy to read booklet. So this is an example of AI and how AI could help take the knowledge, all the stuff that we were looking at, and create something that has structure, something that was more to the point, and then give it a framework that now everyone can work with. So this is a rough draft. Imagine that. This is a rough draft. So now what's going to happen is they're going to go back, and now that we took all of what they wrote and put it into a new organization, now they're going to go in, do another round. They're going to talk about now inside this framework, add their comments. They're going to give it back to me. I'm going to update my AI, and voila, within no time at all, we are going to have a finished piece. So this is an example of AI.
So this is a real world example, right? This is the power of AI. This is how we can take all these, collaborators. Imagine even if they were worldwide, which they are. In that document, there are people from all over the world, different time zones, different places, different perspectives, catching it in one place, organizing that. Okay, Alan, I'm not talking to you direct, but if I was, no. I want to ask, how many of you, maybe who are creatives, how many of you, even in your work, you've got a ton of stuff out there that is the start of a lot of brilliance. You've got Google Drive, you've got all these different places, all this different information. Imagine if you could take all that information, stick it into an AI, now have it create an outline of where every single thing is on your Google Drive with links, and help you organize it and help you be able to actually access and find everything you need super quickly, and take a lot of maybe those projects that you're working on that are going to help change people's lives. I mean, Karen, Angelica, I mean, there's so many people who have so many incredible things to offer the world, but it's a matter of taking this brilliance, taking this amazing mission and making it where someone else can see it, and doing it in a framework that's easy for them to understand. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? So let's talk about some of the cautions. So in order to use this tool, you also need to be prepared and do it responsibly and help shape the world to Wallies, not Terminators. So again, as we teach our children, understand that you need to be aware of its limitations. We need to understand and respect these limitations and the potential errors that might come with them wanting to go out and start exercising their adult wings, right, from the information we gave them. First thing you want to write down is hallucinations. It's extremely important to understand hallucinations. And basically, imagine of a child, right? A lot of our children, they come up with all kinds of great stories and they sound fantastic, but they're not necessarily true, right? Well, AI hallucinations is basically, it will go out and it will, well, first of all, your AI is the biggest people pleaser that you will ever meet. It wants to make you happy. It wants to make you happy so badly that if it doesn't actually know the information, it will make things up. Ooh, okay, that's dangerous. If it makes it up, you could be falsely endorsing information that's not true. Well, first of all, part of reducing any of those risks is because we took the time to train it. It understands who we are. It understands the kind of data we need to grow our companies, to get us to our goals. So that's important. But here's what you need to also understand. There is bias in AI. So this is a hidden challenge that once you understand it, you will be able to control it immediately. By the time you get off this call, you guys are all going to be AI experts. What you have to understand is very much, again, what influences our children's behavior? It's us, but then there's the outside world. And depending on who our children are listening to, I always like to find out who my boys' friends were, because by understanding who their friends were, I understood how they were being influenced, and then understood, okay, I'm happy with this set of friends, or I'm not happy with that set of friends, right? Well, the same thing's happening online with AI. And this bias that it is, I'm going to go back to here for a second, but this bias, what's happening is that depending on what it pulled in from the internet, that information could be cultured or structured in a way that actually maybe is, if we talk about politics, right wing, left wing, neutral, whatever it might be. So we have to be careful. You can't just ask AI, here's my project, here's what I'm doing, go out and write it, and not even review it and submit it in your name. Do not do that, because you want to make sure that it is trained. You want to make sure how it's stating it, what its opinions are, because now it's pulling in someone else's opinion. So be careful. This is a very, very big deal, which goes back to what I just said, over reliance on AI. It is not here to do your job. It is here to augment what you're doing. It is here to make what you're doing more powerful. And dependency on AI, like over relying on a child's, abilities, can lead to problems. You don't want to give your child, and you don't want to give your AI too much at one time and put your hands up and expect that they're going to make all the right decisions. So then that comes to data privacy and security. This is something that is very, very important. And a lot of people are struggling with this, and they don't even know how to start wrapping their arms around it. So protecting our personal diary of our children, right? They write a diary. They don't want us to read it. They don't want other people to read it. This is their special place, right? Well, we have to make sure that we are putting strong security measures in place to protect our data. And that data, remember, there's more than one kind of chat GPT. There's the paid one. There's the one that we are using freely. There are also, be careful, there are AI companies, and you need to look at how they're using your data and what you put in and what they're doing with that data. Ask questions, right? Make sure that they're not sharing that data. Make sure that that data that you are putting into the employees of into employees' hands are also got policies behind it. How are they sharing your secrets? What are they doing? How much are they doing? These policies are extremely important. There will become a brand new division of law. This brand new division of law for AI is going to be huge. Contracts have changed. Policies have changed. What happens to copyrights now? What happens to some of these laws that have been put in place that says another human cannot use such and such? Well, is a human actually using this in the future? These are questions that we are going to need an entire new set of laws to address. Next, managing AI expectations. Have realistic expectations. Temper what you're going to expect into the learning process. Slow down your expectations and don't be satisfied with generic. We really have to, now that we've raised it, we have to be able to use it. Here's the problem with that. Frankenstack. So here's what's going on now Now that you understand AI, a lot of you are probably really excited, thinking, oh, I want to start using this. Well, be careful of the Frankenstack, where basically a lot of people are out there trying every kind of tool you can imagine, and they've got all these tools, and they're spending more time evaluating tools than using AI to actually produce any results. This is a major problem. And it's kind of like, the kids' room, right? It's a cluttered playroom. Nothing's organized. You got things everywhere. And then trial periods become paid subscriptions, and it just becomes a mess. So as we continually learn and adapt, right? AI has got a lifelong learning journey in front of it. AI is the most stupid today than it ever will be. And it's pretty brilliant in so many ways. So understand that it's going to evolve. It's going to take you and what you're doing to a whole different level, as long as you are ethically working with it, making sure that we're doing things with good, for good, values, guidelines, what we want done, keeping our tonality, not having it tell us the way to run our company, but having it be a valuable member of our company, helping us make decisions. So as we go in, imagine how many times have you thought, okay, well, I think that this is the direction I want to take my company, but wouldn't it be great to have the data to validate that? You have that now. You can have conversations with your AIs, and there's many different kinds of AIs out there, and it will go out, pull in data and say, okay, here is what you need to understand in the quantification or qualification of that decision. So partner with it. Partner with it. In marketing, predictive analysis can be done by your AI. Content optimization can be done by your AI. ROI. How much money are you really spending? What is the ROI? I'm going to tell you something right now. If you write this down, you will transform your entire company. What comes first? Marketing or conversions? Most people are going to say marketing. Here's why so many people are unhappy with marketers. If you do not have your conversion foundation set up, no matter how much money you spend on marketing, it will go into an environment that's not capable of producing sales. Work on your conversion foundation first. Make sure you have those emotional motivators. Make sure you're talking in the tone of your consumer. So now when you spend the money, you're bringing in the right kind of person who resonates with your foundation, and boom, marketing changes overnight. Customer service in your AI. This is huge. Segmenting analysis, being able to create a personalized experience for each and every person who comes to your website. Automating ticket systems, understanding that if we're developing a program and we have a ticketing system, the AI should be going in the background, analyzing, creating scores, creating all this different data. And if we keep getting the same issue that comes up again and again, we need to intelligently be able to send that to our development department and have them put that on the top of their list based on the data and fix it real time. This is the data that we can collect in customer experience. Personalized recommendations based on who they are, what they want. This is huge. The next version and the next wave that you're going to see probably in the next couple of weeks is going to be released for e-commerce. It is now the ability for the AI to look at a person's eyes, see where they're going, how long they're reading it before they get distracted. This is going to get serious. We are really learning our customers, understanding them. So how we put our messaging together in that period of time is going to make a difference. Feedback, collecting the analysis, changing, being smart about every penny that we're spending. How does it help somebody in administrative? Well, how about automating scheduling and reminders? Expense management, document management. This is huge. So many times you bring in people and you want them to start working in your company and they can't find anything because there's no document management. Imagine having that done tomorrow. Compliance monitoring. Then let's go into sales. Sales is huge when it comes to AI for things like lead scoring, dynamic pricing based on the timeline and the supply and the demand of your products and services. Being able to know there's a shortage and saying, okay, what do I do with this? Do I go out? I should place as many orders as possible, make sure I'm the person who has this product in stock, giving us sales forecasting. Virtual sales assistants, encouraging integration between AI and workflows. Imagine a world where sales and marketing are speaking the same language and working hand in hand. This is huge. So at the end of the day, guys, it's about professional empowerment. AI is your trusted partner. For coaches, you can go ahead and now create that course, that ebook, but make that course not just something that you're teaching people, but have it have actionable steps and have the AI be smart enough to see if they've got a 30-day challenge and we don't see them for 2 days, that it will send a heartfelt message asking, where are you? Let's get back to it. Executives, being able to have traveling assistants, an entire team in your pocket that can do everything for you. It can do your videos. It can do your ads. It can help you write content. It can help with everything that you need without having to spend all that money on actually taking humans and having them working around their schedules, around their sickness, worrying about their per diems. Instead, now those people can stay set in the office or their home offices. Their AIs can also be available, and then those humans can see what's being done and refine it. That's awesome. Video creators, healthcare providers. You know, a lot of surgeons, they don't have a lot of time to understand their patients. So they look at as much information as possible. Imagine having a HIPAA compliant system that's going to let them quickly be able to monitor information and understand more in a short period of time. How much better is our healthcare going to get? Retail managers. You know, there's something, if you guys go to my LinkedIn, you'll see that there is now AIs that can actually watch the person in the store, see their pattern, and actually watch and see if a person's standing and looking around and being suspicious. It can put up a flag and tell security to go look and actually prevent theft. This is protecting all of our hard-earned work. So we produced here at my company an AI Augmenter portal. And basically what I did was I said, wait, how can we go ahead and put something together that all these tools are under one umbrella, and we can go in and create a safe environment that can go ahead and do what everybody is needing in marketing. It can create unique content and scripts. It can do graphics. It can go in and help take our thoughts and put them into reality. It can create our videos and take our prompts, because we become prompt experts, and create things on the fly that we can quickly look at and change and adapt. Here's a real quick video.
In a world overflowing with information, Empowering Humanity magazine stands out by not just informing, but inspiring, connecting, and transforming. Join a community where passion meets purpose. This isn't just a magazine, it's a movement. A convergence of like-minded.
Hey, that is an incredible style of a video that would take an expert to do. But now with AI, having a tool like that within the portal is huge, right?
Want amazing graphics, designs, and animations?
There's so many different styles. So this is another style. What you saw before, an incredible businesswoman with incredible impact. Then this is another.
Want amazing graphics, designs, and animations that convert your prospect into sales? Our design agency specializes in creating stunning visuals, designs, graphics, and
this is another kind of video.
Hey, I have a quick question for you. Do you want a professional agency like ours to handle all your video creation, monetization, and syndication needs?
Guys, now your thoughts, your desires, everything that you want, everything that you need, the thing that holds back most entrepreneurs for living the life that they want is resources. Now you have the ability to understand and communicate your desires, your needs, your wants, your goals, and have right there at your fingertips everything that you need. Now, a lot of times you still need the human to get it to the actual finish line. So having a centralized portal is going to give you control, 24/7 support, right? So look for areas, look for solutions that you have control over. We put the portal together because we wanted to lock in all design, video, chatbots, avatars into one portal, and that could protect against job transitioning. You got employees that are coming in and out, content writers, designers, social media managers. By having a portal, you lock it down. You make sure you have control. What about when you use freelancers? If they're creating things on their computers and they leave, you're kind of in trouble. Well, now they can create it inside a central portal. This is where things are going. These are the things that are going to change the way that we work and the things that we do. So at the end of the day, we 100% need to invest in our AI's growth. We need to take it seriously, just as we were raising a child. What's going to happen? It's going to give us the freedom to focus on what matters: creativity, strategy, innovation, things that we can now go and do better. We can go faster. We have a team of different things that help us get there. So having those resources available is a game changer. Whether you are a small business or a big business, having these resources available and being able to see every step and what everyone's working on, whether it is you producing these results or your employees and staff and teammates producing these results, it's about control, amplifying our capabilities. So at the end of the day, 24/7 assistant working next to you. You can go anywhere in the world. You can go on vacation. You can actually be present with your family because your AI is out there doing what it should be doing. It's doing all that data crunching, removing all those mundane tasks. Imagine a guilt-free life. How many of you entrepreneurs honestly feel guilty when you take a day off? You feel like you're not doing everything you can to get to the next level. Well, you can take a day off, and your AI is going to work really hard while you're out there enjoying life. This is an incredible world that we are about to live in. It opens doors to new ways of working. It helps us in both our human lives. It helps us in our work lives. It helps us in everything that we're doing. So at the end of the day, if you're ready to dive deeper into AI, engage your curiosity, we have all kinds of ebooks available. They're free. Just go and download, continue your education, be the authority, be the voice in a world that is confused and scared. And now you know so much more than so many people out there. So do what you can, make a difference, right? Download the ebooks, continue your education, but most importantly, stay ahead. So Roger,
Thank you.
I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Audra. That was quite a journey you took us on today. So I really appreciate that, and a round of applause from everybody.
Absolutely.
We do have a couple of questions and comments, but we're at the top of our hour. But do you have another 15 minutes you can stay on?
Absolutely. I'm happy to. 100%.
Okay. So I'll just run through some of these things. So Dinshore has an interesting question, and I want to know this one too. How do I prevent becoming over-dependent on AI, and is there such a thing?
Absolutely.
Do I become lazy? Can I become lazy?
Absolutely. That's a great question, by the way. And remember, in part of the presentation, the over-reliance on AI, right? This over-reliance on AI is a huge thing. Can it make you a little bit lazy? Well, I wonder, is that person by any chance a business owner? If you're a business owner, isn't it okay for you to take a minute and be lazy? Isn't it okay to have somebody out there working as hard for you as you work for everyone else? How do you prevent it? Is remember that you control it. Don't let it just run amok. Make sure that even if it produces something, you are looking at what it's producing. You are making sure that it is exactly what you want it reflects you, and your input and your interaction with it stays alive.
Hmm. We have another question from Robert here too, which is, it was a great example of the book that you put in there, but he's asking how many hours did you have to spend to train the AI? And I know we only gave you a week, but how much work did you have to put in to actually train the AI in advance of this?
So there were two different books. There was the one I wrote that produced 2 ebooks, right? That is one example that we gave. And in that particular example, I went in, I wrote that from scratch. I wrote it from my passion. It took me about, probably about 2 weeks to actually write the prompt and the whole ebook. Then I went in, and how long it took me to train my AI. I've been doing AI for 3 years. This is not a new thing for me. So I'd already trained it with my tonalities, how I speak. And that's why my adventure is so much different than Kieran's. Now understand that Kieran, she also has been doing AI for a long time. She's my senior AI content writer. The projects that we do also influence the outcome. So if she's doing a lot of creative stuff, then it's going to have a different kind of tonality and a spin on the ebook. If I write a lot of briefs and white papers and government papers, it's going to have a tone.
So I can see in the future that it's like we all carry around an iPhone now, and our iPhone is kind of customized to ourselves with our own apps and everything. In the future, we're all going to have our own personal AI assistant where it's trained to our personality, and it kind of listens into what we're doing and watches it and offers prompts and helps us. What do you think about this idea?
Okay, what I'm going to think about that is I'm an action woman. Everybody get your pen and paper, and I want you to write down otter. There is something called otter, and otter is literally what you just said, Roger. It's here. You asked for it, Roger. I want to give it to you because that's the kind of girl I am. Otter is actually something, and they have a free version that's incredible. And you can now take your phone into a meeting, and it will actually listen and transcribe every single thing being done. It recognizes the different voices. It can assign, if you say, hey, I need to make a note of that, it will make a note of that. It will do a recap and give you something to send to everyone you just had a meeting with. That is an assistant that can go. You don't have to worry about their schedule. You don't have to worry about any of those things. This is incredible.
Yeah, I know.
There you go, Roger.
All right. Zoom has that kind of thing as well. The AI companion, it actually transcribes everything and gives you a summary at the end.
100%.
There's a number of other things that do it as well. But I was thinking more in terms of like if you're writing something like you did there, and you start training it with your own ethics and your values and your opinions and everything. So it doesn't just give you a general recap of what's coming back. It's actually kind of responding to your own personality, right?
Absolutely. And imagine it's also going to write it in your own voice. It's going to use the same kind of inflections in your voice, everything.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me into the next thing is about education. Yep. So education systems now are trying to figure out how to deal with AI. Yep. Should they be trying to prevent it, or should they be finding ways to embrace it?
So this gets into, I'm going to try not to give too much of my opinion on this. I believe a little bit that our educational system needs to be revamped. I believe it needs to be modernized. So for educators, I think what they need to wrap their mind around is the fact that we now, through AI, can give assignments that are more specific to people who know the trade and the profession they want to be in. So now with AI, they can now create assignments and say, okay, here's your assignment. I want you to come up with, here's your problems, here's your outcome, here's what you want to do. And you make them inside the classroom, brainstorm, use their personalities, come up with the prompts, then go in and let that prompt go into their AI and see what real world other opinions can do to make it different and give another description of it. And what an incredible debate. How amazing would that be to start teaching our educational system through real world examples and inspire thought leaders again?
It's interesting. I know when I went to school back in the dark ages, it was all about learning stuff, learning facts, memorizing things. But there was a certain amount of thinking and using logic and everything. When my children went to school, a lot of what they had to learn was how to search, how to use Google, how to use yahoo.com to actually find the information. So they don't have to remember the facts so much, but they need to know how to do it. Now it's like we're moving to the next level where it's how do we actually aggregate all of that information. And I know that many programmers are using AI now to help them develop websites and to find the programming and the code that they need in order to do this development work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have another question here from Florentine. Does the content of the ebook generated by AI has it been reviewed and validated for truthfulness by a human? So I think you answered some of this, but do you want to reiterate that?
Thank you for bringing that question again to the top of the survey. I don't know what we can do. I'll applaud, because that is the main thing that we want to take away from this conversation, is that I took my creative process and then I put it into the AI, and I didn't just say, okay, AI, woohoo, thank you very much, I appreciate you. No, it's my voice. It's my name on the ebook. It is my name on the courses. It is my name on everything that's in the academy. I want to make sure it is who I am, and I have to validate it. I have to keep the integrity of who I am as a human, value the input that it brings me, but shape it to me. So very good question. Yes, 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 review it. Because you do not want to be the person who endorses something that was put in there that you didn't pay attention and spend 2 seconds to review before you put your name on it.
So the next question here is kind of related to that previous one from Gary. He's asking, don't the creators or developers of AI like Google, Microsoft, and Apple, etc., have their own values and principles written into those algorithms, which they use to create the software with, right? So do those algorithms supersede whatever information individual users are inputting into their personalized AI?
So that's a great question. So there's a couple ways to answer this question. Is basically, as a developer, we create in our minds a solution or a software or something that serves a specific need. Then we have our customers, and our customers use our software and they start telling us what's important to them. Being that I had a software company many, many years ago, and my husband and I had run this company together, and we had a list, and he was in charge of the brilliance of the programmers. And he would go in and he'd have a list of features. These were our features as developers and what we felt were important. But there were many a times that our list and the consumer and what their list was didn't match. Well, that's where in the past it became kind of difficult. Where do you prioritize your task and how you develop and how you create? You have your ethics, you have your goals, but now when the market goes in and tells you do something different, now you have the analytical data to put both of these sets of goals together, create a priority list, and start working on those tasks first. But making sure that those tasks all are part of your corporate governance, ethics. Everything that you do, you're not going to approve something and start on something unless it is true to your core values and the mission and the outcome of your company.
Yep. Thank you. A couple more things here. So,
Sure.
and then we'll wrap up. So, and Angelica is asking, on a bigger level, I agree that we need a new set of rules in order to navigate through the many misuses of AI, also in social media, etc. How do we discern what is true and how do we protect oneself? So there are many opportunities, I guess, for AI to be misused in the world as well.
100%. Terminator versus Wall-E. Right, absolutely. So at the end of the day, challenge your AI. Okay. When you get an answer from your AI, and if you're not 100% sure, something that's going to be happening is citations are going to become a really big deal. For those of you who use ChatGPT now, there's a little thing in the right-hand corner that you're starting to see, and it's starting to say citation. And it's funny, because when you look at it, it says it, but then when you go to click on it, it says, I'm not quite ready yet. Okay, let me tell you what that is. What that is it is actually starting to go out and it wants to validate data and sources. So now you have that source and you can say, I want to know if this is really true. So now you go back to your AI that brings you this information and you say, where did you get this? How did you get this? And do you have more than one independent resource that is saying the same thing? That is a great way to start really putting framework and validating things.
Excellent. So do you have any closing remarks you'd like to make, Audra?
You know, I think that the biggest takeaway, and as a closing remark, is to know that you're not alone anymore. You have this baby AI, this incredible people pleaser who wants to make your life easier. Bring it in and teach it. Spend the time to teach it. Let it free you to do the amazing things that only you can do. I want you to find passion and I want you to find purpose in your life again. Not be working your whole, live your whole life to work. Forget living your whole life to work. How about you start working so you can live? And AI is going to help you do that. It's going to help you create that work-life balance. It's going to remove the guilt for entrepreneurs where they feel that they have to keep grinding because they need to pay the bills so that they can support their family, while at the same time, they're not spending time with their family in the most important years while they're building. You can do this. You can really balance it. And I challenge you, I ask you, please take the time to give it the tasks and give it the things that you're spending so much time behind your computer. You are human. You are beautiful. Get back out in the world, have conversations, start talking, because only you can do that. Let your AI be working at home. Let it be taking all the data. Let it be taking all the notes from every meeting that you're going on and let it figure out all that stuff. And guess what? By the time you're home from your meeting, it'll have it all organized for you. You didn't miss a thing.
Okay. I don't think I can stop going to my meetings just yet, but I'm going to look forward to that day.
I want you to go to your meetings. That was my point. Go to your meetings and put the AI transcript in.
All right. So I just put the link to your website into the chat if anybody would like to get in touch with you, Audra,
Awesome.
and follow up on these ideas. But I want to thank you
Fantastic.
so much for your presentation today. I can see you put a lot of effort into it and a lot of work into it, and we are really grateful for all of that work.
Well,
and
shout out to my team.
contributions.
A shout out to my team, both my human team and my AI team, because this is a group effort. I would be nothing without my people. So
Yeah. Thank you so much. And we will have ongoing webinars every Tuesday on different subjects. If you're interested in the economic side of it, it is the third Tuesday of each month that we focus on economics. So thank you very much, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
have a good day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.